So hi, welcome to the Good Noise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with...
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Ash, and we are GILT.
And we're going to ask some questions today about the new EP, Conceit. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to the announcement so far?
Really, I mean, we're a DIY band that said we're going to Europe, so it's
True.
pretty easy to slam dunk.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Yeah.
we were talking about that. We talked back in December, and you guys were like, "Yeah, we're going to the UK." I'm like, "There's no fucking way they're going to the UK."
Yeah.
And then you're going to the fucking UK, so that's sick.
It's crazy.
I've had family members reach out to me who I haven't even really spoken to. They're like, "You're going over where? Are you prepared?" And I'm like,
No.
no.
Figure it out. Do you have your passport? Yes.
Yeah.
Other than that, no, I got nothing.
Yeah.
They don't know anything about music, so they think we just found out today ourselves.
Yeah.
We announced it. Our manager just told us, like, by the way,
Yeah.
we were like,
Oh
oh
my God.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's great.
Little do they know.
So I guess that was like the bigger announcement for you guys. The EP was just like, oh, by the way.
Oh no. I mean, it's like, you know what it's like when you're in a band.
Of course.
On the
We're both a
music
band.
for like a million years, and like every day I have to run the Twitter, right? So every day I'm just like, I just want to tweet the lyrics because I really like them, but
Mhm.
nobody knows them yet.
Mhm.
So it's hard to talk about the EP until it's out, and then people will know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So is there any meaning behind the EP title or cover?
Yeah.
Me? Okay, it's me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Conceit. It's a literary term, or it's like a theater thing, I think. But it's like metaphors, basically metaphors, and also, it's the double entendre of the emotion of being conceited. And this is we realized through the writing process that a lot of this was tackling a very specific grieving process from just band conversations we were having about stuff that's going on in Ash's life. Not to take that story and tell it for you, so I'm gonna skirt around any details, but
Okay, I'll pick up the remainder.
Okay, cool.
But so yeah, it's a lot angrier than our other stuff. I think our other stuff was a lot more just like pensive. It was me being like, woe is the life of a poet, and now it's just like, oh man, real people die, this is terrible.
Yeah.
And then so I thought the double entendre was fitting.
Yeah, like a lot of the writing process, like Tyler's very good at doing the double entendres thing. Like things have multiple meanings, songs have like multiple meanings. It's never like the one thing GILT is like, we are never gonna write "Ooh baby girl, I love you" song, because like that's straightforward. Like maybe once, but like,
Okay, good.
Thank God.
yeah, maybe once.
Mhm. When you need a
But,
radio hit.
When do
Yeah.
we get our Ed Sheeran collab?
Well, like
I need it.
honestly, but the thing is that like the song "Mirror" on the last EP is just an overall general sense of like loss of a close familiar thing that you had in your life, and especially dealing with like a parent or something, something like that. But we also saw that someone put that song specifically on a playlist titled "Hardcore Dudes When Their Girlfriend Doesn't Text Back." So it's like people can put different meanings to these things.
Oh my
So
God.
the thing about all of this is that like, it is about like grief and grieving the loss of I lost my dad, and that was a big changing moment in my life. And there's a lot of intricate, complex feelings and situations that you get into because of that. And especially with my situation, my dad was I would say a public figure to an extent around here, a very, very well-known local artist.
Mhm.
And
You're gonna make us sound like an industry plant.
I know, well,
But
but there's a lot of things about that grieving process was a lot different than being
Mhm.
able to like mourn to myself and
Yeah.
in a close space. And it opened up a lot of doors to just seeing how other people react to loss. And like Tyler said, we got a lot angrier because a lot of people really kind of show their true colors.
Yeah.
So can you guys tell us a little bit about your writing process for this EP?
I was working on songs because I don't stop working on songs. And what song is it? Is it Tools? Yeah. Oh yeah, duh. I was working on these lyrics, and I think we had just gotten back from a run, and I was like showing Ash the lyrics, and it was about biting your nails down, and Ash is like, this is crazy because my dad bit his nails. Like, that's a character trait about him. Did you remember us talking about that? And I was like, I mean, maybe my subconscious did, but we've lived in a van together for so long, and this has been such a big kind of like overarching thing that's been going on, I mean, therefore in both of our lives. The writing process is like, I'm making music, and all I'm thinking about are conversations that we've been having, and it's just like directly bleeding into it. And that's how every song got made. It was just like, hey, I wrote some music, and then we would have a conversation about what the lyrics, like what the loose lyric ideas were, and then I'd be like, can we throw a breakdown in it?
Yeah,
I love that thought.
Yeah.
Like we were never like a hardcore band, and we've been touring long enough that I don't know if you know this, in Florida, hardcore and like emo, as it were, like as defined as like bands that sound like they really hope counterintuitive signs them, groups of people just don't interact. In like, in like Jersey, you're gonna have a Twinkle band and a Scrams band and a Grind band, and you're gonna have them all in the same bill, and it's gonna be super sick.
That is
but in
typical
Florida, it's
Jersey
not like
lineup.
that.
Yeah.
So like we avoided, or like just were not part of like the heavier scene for a long time because it's full of Republicans.
Ooh.
But we started getting into it more because Ash was like, grew up on metalcore and was like, can we please? And I was like, okay, I'll do some homework.
Well, that was the funny thing, is that you would bring me like the skeleton of a song. You'd be like, okay, now here's where the breakdown goes. And you'd be like, how breakdown? You're like, pit call, counting. What do words here?
I don't know.
So like a 2010s fucking metalcore breakdown where it's like something derogatory against women, and then the fucking breakdown just kicks in, and you're like, boom.
Literally, we were in Orlando, and we were hanging out at our touring base at the time, Griffin's house, and they had pulled up the Issues cover of Boyfriend, how they did the entire song just like how whatever Boyfriend's done, and then at the end just started straight up being misogynistic on their own terms, like wrote their own lyrics, and it was like breakdown time. So yeah, very much so
like that.
Minus the misogyny.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. All right. So I want you two to tell us your favorite lyric off this EP and the meaning behind it.
Some of these lyrics are about people who are still alive, and I need to be real careful with what I choose.
Yeah.
You go first.
Oh, okay. Well, I think so it's the opening lyric to Amethyst, and it's, you think I'd be bitter towards the water for all the times I almost drowned. And that line, even our manager has always just been like, this is that line that hits you so hard once it comes in. And every time I think about it, the meaning behind it is like, you think I'd hate everything around me for how much it's going against me. But then the next line is, but the measure of a strong swimmer is how long they can stay down. And also I can't swim, but I think
that's okay.
I think the thing about it is that I definitely, I like that it's very much so a hopeful lyric. It's got a lot of hope in it that, there's going to be a lot of things going against you, but, it's nice to know that your resilience is what you can hold on to.
Wow. Yeah, that's a very good lyric.
Yeah.
All right. Do I give the answer that is safe in case anyone hears this, or do I give my real answer?
You just get all kinds of give your real answer.
So we have a really blasty part in one of it. It's I was like, please let's put blast beats, and it's just screaming, and it's carcass full no crawl space. And I didn't like we were talking about like breakdowns, you know, like you have to like just say something mean about somebody, right? And I think the line before that is like spine displaced, and I was like, oh, it's like you're telling someone they have no spine, but like we said it in a typically poetic way, so nobody's gonna understand that this is just being like, I can't say a curse word, but but like
swear.
The carcass full thing to me was like when we were at the height of talking about a lot of the topics that this is about, like Ash said, their dad's a public figure, and seeing the way that the minute they passed, everyone was just like, did you know that I knew him? Did you know that I knew him?
Yeah.
And so to me, the thing is just like, carcass full, like stop trying to like get inside of the body and parade it around like you knew. It's just, that was one of them really like direct angry lines that usually is not something I would make, and is only because we were having like intense conversations about it at the time.
All right, okay.
And now we will not show this to anybody.
Oh my God, that's disgusting that they would do that.
Yeah.
I mean, people do that all the time. It's understandable, but
it is. To be respectful whenever someone whenever you see someone lose someone very close to them that you're not particularly too close to, I've always been like, it really shows to me how respectful people can be about that. And even with other loss that we've dealt with in our life, it's interesting to see, like Tyler said, people just trying to really make it about them, and it's like, it's not about you right now.
Yeah,
exactly.
I saw what was it, Taylor Hawkins just died, right?
Yeah.
And I saw somebody posting on the timeline, who was it? Doesn't have some whatever celebrity, but they were like, I met him once, and they told a story about meeting him and the way that it affected them, and they're like, but at the end of the day, I met him once. And it's like they respectfully said something that was very nice, but then made sure to curtail it by being like, my experience was limited. And I think there's a way to, even when somebody you're not particularly close to is gone, you can still be affected by it and talk about it, but there's a real fine line between that and trying to get something out of saying you know somebody.
Exactly.
Very true. So you guys definitely did touch on this, like when we're talking about cover art and title, but if you would like to go more in depth, you can. Where was your headspace at while you guys were writing this EP?
Bad.
It's funny. This is the second time we've recorded with Lee and been in the studio space with Lee, and kind of been like, we didn't live in the studio, although we did ask many different times, hey, can we
stay overnight?
And Lee was like, I need to go home. I need to go sleep. But it's interesting, Lee seeing us then and now and being like, oh wow, are y'all okay? Do y'all need a hug? And we were like,
wow.
Yeah, maybe.
Big group hug, everyone. Let's get it in. Come on.
Yeah, big group hug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I personally, I feel like I was at my peak of really poetic stuff because, at the end of the day, I can feel for Ash as much as, possible, but I feel like there's a line where like the particulars of the pain aren't mine. So I took what I could from it, and I focused a lot on like my experience, like my dad is a pastor. So I'm always thinking about religious motifs a lot. And I threw a lot of that in there for myself. And so I was in a very like heady space, but also, we're working with different people, and we're also working on really sensitive material with new people. And so I also kind of felt like I was like curating an energy, trying to keep everybody like playing nicely.
Yeah, I do. What? I do want to bring up the collaborations and whatnot, because you guys have five people. There's 5 tracks, 5 people, 1 for each song, and you're touching on very personal topics. So what was that process like, and kind of letting these people in? And were the songs completely written, or did they kind of have a hand in the writing process?
I wrote all of their lines for them, and then we went through Like we basically just pulled out our phones and we were like, who do we like? And we whittled down a list of from like, who are our friends to like who are our friends that we think can do this really well and are going to add something, to the song that's not just like, oh, look, we know this person.
Yeah.
Like
not flex.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
when we have to play them live, it's miserably hard.
Oh my god! But I literally, when we were playing Amethyst live, I was like, I did not think this through. I did not. I love being a vocalist. Rapping, doing scream rap is something I'm still learning, and definitely I cannot do it as well as Shaolin does it. That's for sure. So.
Yeah. We have to break up Carson's part between the two of us because Carson must have like 2 sets of lungs. Absolutely. I can't imagine being like in the Dow Boys and playing any of the instruments, much less like doing Carson's vocals.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oof.
All right.
So how do you recommend your fans to listen to this EP for the first time? Should they play it in the car with friends, start with headphones on? Should they blast at a party, work out to it? What do you personally recommend?
I think this time headphones might be, because like I think the thing I always like about music is like being completely surrounded and enveloped in a thing. And because this is, I've always like, aggressive music like in my ear, like directly in my, I mean I have hearing loss, but like directly in my ears. I'm always like a hit or miss with that, but I feel like for this, because it's an entire theme of a feeling and of a part of life, I think it's really important to absorb all of that just directly rather than playing it on your speakers or whatever and being like or like, especially not at a party. Our musical never
No, not a party band. No.
We do
until you make that one "Hey Girl" song. And until then.
I've listened to this thing, since I was making the demos. I've listened to it in a lot of settings. I've listened to it a lot at the gym, but also I don't need like fully aggressive music at the gym. And I feel like a lot of people do. I think my favorite place to listen to it was when I was opening at work. I had about an hour before customers would come in and I was just talking. And it's that period of the day where like you're awake and alert, but you're emotionally bracing for 6 to 8 hours of customer service. So you're thinky, but you're about to be really angry. And I feel like the trip that it takes you on for that, it's like it's just enough to pay attention to. It's not background music. It's not just like really like steady, but it does like pick up and then it gets you into the zone. That was my favorite like time to listen to it before I quit that job.
Yeah.
Right.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
Hell yeah. I'm glad you quit that job. So this question should be super, super quick off the top of your head. I want you to describe the EP for new listeners in 3 words. Both have to do it as fast as you can.
Super angry buds.
That's great. Okay. I love that.
Yeah, that's a band name.
True.
Yeah, for some reason my brain started thinking about PJ Masks, like the kid shows, and just like that. My brain went somewhere completely different. I was like, I know we're angry, super angry.
Ooh.
But
buddies, we're
friends.
Besties.
I just don't even understand what just happened.
So you're 3 words. So.
Post-hardcore revival.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Actually,
there we go. All right.
Actually, I like Ash is better, just an FYI.
Yeah, I know. See, like mine is like a generic music description. Ash has actually had a personality to it.
Yeah.
It's balance. It's balance.
Yeah, which is honestly about the dynamic we have in general.
Super angry.
At some point, Ash said, "We're Pinky in the Brain," and I was like, "Yeah."
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Very much so.
So, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want this EP to invoke in your listeners?
It moves around a lot, like I said, but like I hope on this one people get into the rhythms a lot more, even though I'm really proud of the lyrics and the words are important to both of us. I really like even the vocal cadence and delivery, the rhythm of that and the rhythm of the instrumentals. I hope people enjoy that element of it, and I hope it's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
All right.
Yeah, I think the last EP we put out was like, oh, like I'm taking over his vocals. We did the 2 remix tracks and everything, and I think this time the instruments really shine in this as like well.
Yeah.
And I think I also want people to be like, oh, I'm getting a heavy vibe. Like I'm feeling like this is like I like to just put on heavy music to not even think about what they're saying sometimes.
Mhm.
I just am like, I cannot listen to Aaliyah right now. I'm a little too angry. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to turn on like Spite or something. And I just want people to be like, I am feeling this like release of being like, I just want to.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
All right.
Before we move on to the next question, I keep seeing a cat
I
in the
was gonna say
background.
the
I'm
same
not
thing.
sure. I'm not
I
sure
know
if we
that-
met
so
them yet, but I'd love to
Last
meet them.
time we were
Here.
at my place and you saw the 2 dogs, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Dogs. We want to meet the
So-
cat this time.
Ash has 2 cats.
We have 2 cats.
Oh
I have
shit.
2 cats.
Are we able to meet both of them, or just the one that's
No, the
been
other
running
one's fine.
around?
Yeah, so we can be
Oh,
both.
oh my God.
This is a little baby. She's a little
Oh.
she's a
She's so
little
cute.
baby. She's walking around and she's meowing, and I kept looking at her like, because I've been changing things around in the house a little bit, so she's just curious about certain things. And then the other
And what's
one,
her name?
oh, her name is Soot.
And
Soot.
Nice to meet
be
you.
careful with this guy. He's ancient. His name is Char, and he only has 3 legs.
Hi, Char.
Oh, hi, Char.
Yeah,
He's a-
Ash has this whole fire type gym leader vibe going in the house, which
I
is
was gonna
good
say.
because they're obviously a ghost type trainer.
I literally
That
like-
wasn't a. I swear to you, that was not a death joke.
Yeah.
No.
There are a lot of purple.
I got you.
No, I didn't.
I really.
It's okay.
Oh,
Well,
I have to
it's
strike that.
it's funny because that's another part of grieving is that there's a lot of like people will say things or to me even or just to us and won't even realize it, and then they'll do the and I'm
Oh shoot. Yeah.
like I had someone specifically talk about like a father who had passed away, and I was like sitting there like, and they're like, haha, right, but that's like not ever gonna happen. I was like,
Oh God.
Oof. Jeez.
God. Worst timing.
Yeah.
God, dude.
gotcha. But yeah, so I have 2 cats. These are my. He was a stray. Char was a stray.
She was a girl. Can I make it
Any
anyhow?
more obvious?
So true.
Yeah, and I also my partner has a pet rabbit. So the rabbit is
Who's in the other
actually
room?
on the cover art of the single amethyst.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, Luna.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
Full circle.
Oh my goodness.
all coming together.
Yeah,
Hell
so
yeah.
I
that's
love it.
animal tree of the guilt of yep. Anyways.
You're thinking about
That's
animals.
perfect.
We just went to Disney. Anyhow, please ask us questions about sad things.
Of course. That's our
Okay,
job.
moving on. But this is you.
Did we do certain feeling? We did. Okay.
Yeah.
That's my bad.
Sorry.
We're gonna have to cut that
we
part
got
out.
sidetracked.
Yeah.
We got sidetracked with the animals.
And
We did,
It
we did.
happens
Glory was like,
sometimes.
before we move on, I was like, oh, that just means it's Glory's turn. So what band or artist influence do you think you can hear the most on this EP, if any?
We actually made a playlist, but I know when I was coaching Ash to do vocals really specifically in the hardcore manner that I'm into, that
Mhm.
as a metalcore kid they weren't into.
Yeah.
Have Mercy's songs "To Scream at the Sun," you know that record.
Mhm.
That
Shane?
You
Shane.
said Have Mercy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
no,
saw. Yeah.
Have Heart.
What?
Have Heart.
Oh no,
Have mercy
yeah, no,
talk about your hair.
yeah, I was like, I know Have Mercy. I have no, I heard Have Mercy. No, I have no idea what you're talking about. My bad.
Okay, so it's like the definition of post-hardcore. It's I was yeah. So like specifically the vocal delivery has a lot of those hardcore style vocals, and that's also what we were talking to Lee about when we were doing mixing.
Also, like Loathe.
We were
for-
listening to so much Loathe.
Yes.
Yeah, and when we were talking to Lee about it, we were like, this is what the bass like frequency should like. It should be this beat downy. Like we want people to be smothered in bass.
Yeah. Perfect.
That's good.
Yeah.
A lot of that.
Oh yeah.
Cool. So for this question, I want you to picture you're on tour. You're at a gas station for a rest stop. You're going in. What is your snack of choice?
We're at Buc-ee's.
I know.
so-
I'm at Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
Can I have 2 snacks?
Sure.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Big spender over here.
Yeah. Well,
Don't go
Okay.
broke.
yeah, listen. I'm going for it all. A can of green beans has become my new best friend.
They don't sell that at Buc-ee's.
What?
Yes, they do.
That seems
Really?
like something they would
Why
sell
are
at
you kept
Buc-ee's.
getting those?
You just wait. You're worried if they sell it at Buc-ee's. I'm worried about you. You eat just a can of green beans.
Can we unpack this?
Why? Well, how did that?
So-
How did that start? Was it just in the
Traumatized
pantry and you were like,
ass.
oh, we don't have any food, so I'm just gonna eat a can of green beans?
When the band started, we would stay at Walmart's overnight a lot, and so I think Ash got used to eating canned goods.
I was
Is that
so
a thing?
tired.
You can
Yeah.
do that?
I was so tired of eating Walmart sushi that had been there all day and being like,
Oh,
oh,
Eat the
this is
sushi.
because
Go to
it
the
was
hot
like
bar.
hot bar would be closed when we go to park at the Walmart for the night. It would be
Oh,
there's
mhm.
nothing there.
Sleep for dinner, breakfast hot bar.
Yeah. Well, so a can of green beans and the Buc-ee's beaver nuggets. I have unhinged food takes, so that's
It's-
that.
It's not unhinged. It's just bougie. Anyhow,
No.
canned green beans bougie.
You know.
Well,
Canned
when you're on
green
tour,
beans.
that is a little bougie.
Yeah.
Like,
I
those
mean-
things aren't cheap.
Does that not like stink up like the van at all?
I eat it
Are
very
you
quickly.
really worried about the can of green beans stinking up the van?
I'm just worried about the can of green beans.
Oh, I'm worried about the
Worried
van.
about the 5 musicians who haven't taken a shower in a week.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm worried about the van.
Good point. Oh my god.
I like I'll get a can opener. I'll bring one with me because I usually buy one and be like, I didn't bring one for some reason. I'll open it. I'll
Mhm.
put some salt in there and eat some cold green beans and then throw out the can and we're good for the night. Anyway, so
I'm concerned.
Yeah, Tyler, you
as a
should-
fan, as a friend, I'm worried about
No,
it.
Tyler, you should start talking soon because we're just gonna keep berating Ash for these green
After
beans.
all of
Canned
these
green
years
beans.
of being the tour mom and being like, it used to be when we would stop at the Walmart, Ash would get whatever junk food or whatever,
Or get
and
candy.
everyone else would, get junk food, and I'd be like, guys, I got some baby carrots. Does anyone want some? And they'd be like, no, and I'd be like, we're gonna have some.
Yeah.
So I'm happy when I see one of my children getting vegetables.
yeah.
Um,
That's good.
So we stop at the Buc-ee's, and most likely I will not get anything because I try to spend as little money as possible, and also having hunger pains keeps me awake longer when I need to drive.
I get that.
Um, but if I am gonna get food, real easy. I get the big cup because it's the big cup and it's the best value, and it's
Of course.
about 65% Buc-ee's brand, the black peach tea, and the rest of it is Arnold Palmer, which they have on tap
I
there,
love
which is
Arnold Palmer.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then you just grab the pulled pork sandwich, and yeah, nice and easy.
That's pretty
Alright.
good. That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
and hopefully I don't eat, and then we get to stop at like a vegan food truck, and I've saved money throughout the day, and I get to eat like one cool meal.
One cool. It's good.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Mhm.
So for the last couple questions, we're going to shift away from music. So if you could switch lives with any celebrity for a day, who would it be and why?
Ooh.
We're testing out
Um,
new questions on you guys.
Mhm.
Ooh, wait. I mean, my immediate answer was just Courtney from Spirit Box. I just be like, can I just look as cool as you?
Mhm.
But now I'm like, wait, let me.
I just saw them live. She looked so fucking cool on stage.
I've been seeing so many. Where'd you see them?
I saw them on the Under Oath tour in New Jersey. So I saw them when Will Ramos.
Will.
You saw that?
Yes, I did.
Are I saw everyone on Twitter talking about it. I was so upset. I was
Yeah.
like,
I was there. I was like, holy fuck. She was like, there's someone that's been, they wanted to come tonight. And then it was like, Will, you're gonna have to work for your guest list. And I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck do you mean he's gotta work for his guest list?
I am freaking crying. That's okay. That was gonna be my other answer. I was like, I would also switch live with Will
Super
Ramos, because I just want to sound like Will. Like I
Which
would
one is
just
that?
Lorna Shore.
Mhm.
Is that a band?
Yes, it's the one I showed you with the intent.
I was messing around on that one.
Oh, okay. I
Even
was.
Glory
Oh my
fucking
god.
knows.
I mean, we spoke to him for like half an hour.
But like the one with the intense breakdown with the one I showed
To
you
the
at the end.
Hellfire. Fucking great song.
Yeah,
Mhm,
with
mhm.
that's who I would switch sides with. I think. Wow,
Cool.
just I saw that video. I was like,
Don't you wish you were there?
Yes.
I was there.
I hope they do it again just for you.
They just asked this question because they knew what you were going to say. They wanted to flex.
yeah.
No.
No.
Yeah.
You set me up for the flex when you brought up
Yeah.
Spirit Box.
I set you up for the.
Bill's going to be on the podcast. What metalcore band do you wish you could have seen?
We interviewed all of those.
we were on stage. Oh my God.
I did Holy Roller with fucking Courtney from Spirit Box. It was crazy.
God.
I have pivot.
Okay.
When I was
Oh.
slightly younger, I got diagnosed with obsessive compulsive personality disorder,
Mhm.
and I walked into the therapist and I was like, here's my dossier on me and here's everything that's going on. The only thing I'm not sure of is, do you think that there's narcissism in it? And she was like, I think the fact that you're concerned about that means it's probably not narcissism. And I was like, okay, that's good to know. But I'm still going to keep an eye on it. So I had this tweet when I started running the GILT Twitter, and I really thought about it. All I really want from my life is success. Like I want the thing that I'm doing to go well. And
Yeah.
my dad's like, you want money? I was like, no, I want to be able to like pay my bills and
Mhm.
like stop at gas stations and eat food sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was really thinking about it, and a thing that I think keeps me from being a supervillain is that I only want my success. And I don't know if it's narcissism, because it seems kind of like it's like I want to like win on my terms. There's no celebrity that I would want their life, because I would just be like, this is somebody else's victory. Like I don't.
Mm.
Why would I be envious of that?
Fair
I
enough.
want
Wow.
my
Fair enough.
success.
That's
Dang.
a good answer.
Yeah, that was
I didn't see that coming at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When you said pivot, I just thought you were going to be like, I want to be Adam Sandler for the day. And I'd be like,
Yeah.
Oh
that's
god,
a-
nobody
that's
wants to
a-
be Adam Sandler.
That's a questionable
favorite
pick, but
movie
all
growing
right.
up was Little Nicky. So any most points in my life before now, I would have picked that.
Fair enough. All
That's
right.
fair. That's fair. So hot take time. What is one hill that you would die on?
You guys are on Twitter, man. You guys got to have hot takes.
Oh,
I mean, I had a hot take that almost got us bad canceled. So
Wait, what was it?
we can dig into that. But what's
Yeah.
yours? Because you only have nice things.
Wait,
to
was
say.
it the NFT tweet?
What's the NFT?
Yeah, I saw it, and I was like, they kind of you have a point.
All right.
You have a
all
point.
right.
Yeah.
I would love to actually dialogue, because every time I talk about it in person with someone, they're like, true though.
Yeah.
So my take is
Mhm.
that bands nowadays being like, we're never going to do NFTs, like I would
Yeah.
quit music, is the same thing as bands like 10 years ago would be like, we would never put our music on streaming, like we
Yeah.
would never. And it's like, you don't want to,
Mhm.
but if it becomes a part of the industry and like the only way for you to be like known and succeed,
Mhm.
most bands are cowards. Like they don't actually have, the moral backbone that they like to pretend that they do. And even if they do, we live in a society. So
Yeah.
you either have an ethos and go broke and quit music, or you sell your soul and you get a chance to roll the dice. So
Yeah.
And I think that like your tweet, like, because it's a great point, and I 100% agree with it. I think it was just kind of a case of like things getting lost in translation, and then on top of that, people just wanting to be mad for no fucking reason, because that's Twitter in a nutshell, is things getting lost in translation and people getting super pissed off for no fucking reason.
Yeah, and it's also the fact that you kind of came off as like, well, you didn't come off as people wanted to read into it as you being pro NFT, when you were just saying, hey, it's people don't want to accept it now, but this is probably going to happen just because of how big it is now and how it's just going to make its way into the industry overall. But people were like, oh, you like NFTs, you're bad, you're killing the environment, the earth's going to die because of you, when it's just like you were just offering a completely different point of view that nobody said before, and you're right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's the thing, is that I think you always see like people do the post where it's like, I am going to have a wild interpretation of a tweet that you made, and I'm going to pretend you said this thing, and I'm going to be upset. And it's like, what if we talked about it? And I think that's the thing about it, is
that's
starting a conversation, Tyler.
And what if we talked about it without you just talking down to me the whole time?
Yeah,
exactly. Or just shutting me down.
I had a bunch of DMs about that. People were like, I disagree with your opinion, but I have to say, like, you handled talking to everybody well. And I was like, I come from Facebook. I lived in the trenches.
Yeah. You've seen things. God.
Yeah. I got real canceled when I was younger because please understand, I was young and I was dumb.
It's all good.
But like back in my early days, I was definitely the like, Martin Luther King wouldn't appreciate the violence that's happening. You know, like I was that white person.
Yeah.
People literally called venues my first band was playing, was like, their singer is a Nazi.
Oh my God.
So like starting from there, I've learned how to dialogue on the internet.
Yeah. Well, I just like to look at dolls on the internet.
Fair enough.
Me too.
I have
But
like,
apparently doll Twitter is spicy.
doll Twitter is very spicy.
What is your doll take? And then they can post this on doll Twitter and they'll be like, are you telling me that Rainbow High isn't as good as Monster High?
Oh my God. It's not even that. Like, it'll like people talk about like the scalping business and everything, how people buy things to resell them and like purposefully. And, you know, there's a lot of opinions on that. And my thing is that I see conversations happening all the time on Twitter. I'm just trying to look at my dolls, but as I'm scrolling through, I'll see people talking about doll stuff and opinions about that. And also DIY Twitter, and everyone has like, I saw the big discourse about
the band,
that band Wednesday, I think.
I can't believe how big that got, by the way. They're like writing articles about it now, like massive articles.
Old enough to remember that same thing that happened several years ago, but it was an article by a band called Pomplamoose. That went around DIY tour postings for a long time. I was just like, wow, history repeats itself. Please go on.
Well, that was the thing, is that I saw, I mean, I was like, with this conversation exploded to the point where like Attila of all people chimed in, and I was like, what? And my hot take is that I'm like, sometimes you don't need to have a take on everything.
I agree.
Here's why that hot take is wrong.
Because like my whole thing is that like, you know, what I especially will die on this hill on is that when everything was happening with the Black Lives Matter protests and everything, everyone on Twitter would be like, Brad Pitt, what's your opinion on Black Lives Matter?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Or like they'd be like asking these random celebrities, or even celebrities who do say they do activism work. And I'm like, you know, I can see performative activism from a mile away, but I'm just like, I don't need to know Brad Pitt's take on it, because he's either going to be like, yeah, I'm cool with it, or no, I'm not cool with it. And either way, that doesn't.
Either way, he's still rich.
Yeah. Either way, he's still. I'm not gaining anything from him. You know, I mean, people are like, use your platform, and I understand that, but some people who truly don't even know how to use their platform, who have it, should just. I feel like I just don't need to hear it. I don't need to hear it.
I hear you, and I'm gonna let you finish. But we had this discussion the other day. Twitter is sports. It's NASCAR. It's, you know, it's like, you know, from Florida, you know, NASCAR.
Yeah.
People say they're there for the car. They're there for the car wreck. When there is a car wreck, they say, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah.
But they wait for the next one.
Yeah.
Twitter is, everyone's bored until they find something they can dogpile on. And I'm coaching my side project band on like how to use Twitter, because there's another millennial running it who's like, this is bad, I've never been here for my mental health. I was like, screw your mental health, you want to be in a band, right? So I was like, here's the thing, the safe tweet you can always tweet is, not everyone needs to have an opinion on stuff, because it's easy to critique people critiquing, but also we're here to see people critiquing because we want dialogue.
Not all of us. Some of us are here to look at dolls.
That's
true.
Mhm.
I'm just here to talk about music, man. I don't like, but it's also like when you start like, especially like with the BLM and stuff and everything, like when you're like, use your platform, it's like then you get like these performative tweets that nobody wanted anyway, and then you get mad when they give you performative activism, but it was like that's what you asked for, so
That's
like
what
why
you
are you
had.
mad? So
I'm
like
literally like it also crosses into the idolization thing that I
Yeah.
like, where people are like, I look up to this person, and you can look up to people and you can admire their work, but to put them on a pedestal, to be like, your opinion means more to me than everyone else, more
Yeah.
than my own opinion.
Mhm.
I'm like, unless they're actually producing influential change and they're making shit happen,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
nothing will come of it to me.
yeah,
Yeah,
fair
that's fair.
enough. Fair enough.
That's,
And,
that's a fair take. They asked for hot takes.
I mean, it might be
I
a
have
hot
enough
take to
takes for everybody.
somebody. Oh,
I said the word NFT,
No, they
so we're
said,
fine.
what will you die? Like, what hill
Yeah,
will you
yeah.
die? I will die on that hill.
Fair enough.
exactly.
All right.
And just to bring it back to the doll thing, I just want to say Ever After High clears everything. So, but that's just my
Don't even get me
take.
started.
Oh my god.
Oh, let me just real quick.
Well, this
I
is
would
out of
love
my-
to.
this is out
Just
of
2
my
seconds.
custom
Let me
thing.
just. You saw the cat already, so.
Mhm.
What do you mean they're over there? You
tour.
have 6 walls of dolls.
Room
Oh my
tour.
God.
Room tour.
Oh
Holy
my goodness.
shit.
I would turn the light on, but it's
They're over there, Ash said. So let me walk across the house.
And then there's another one.
like chasing behind.
Oh my
There were
god.
so many
There's
dolls.
more, but they're in my room and my partner's in there, and I don't want to intrude.
So
but-
anyhow,
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That's a lot
Wow.
of dolls. I
slow
respect
down
That's
the
it.
video
impressive.
and see
Yeah.
Ash's collection and just think about how many Bucky stops they're worth.
Yeah.
You could buy out Bucky's with how many fucking dolls
Honestly.
you've got. Yeah.
And they pay fair wages too.
True.
Oh, yeah.
And so for this last question, if the band was in a horror movie, what movie would it be, and who would die first? I mean, there's
This is
only two
Ash's
of you.
specialty because I'm a little baby.
Oh God, I like in my head, I was like, okay, Guilt would end up in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We love going to Texas.
Mhm, mhm.
And
We,
We-
loved Chainsaw.
no, we
Oh,
love
does they
Chainsaw.
love massacres?
we all three. But we love trusting strangers all the time, just to be like, they'd be like, hey, like,
It's part of
Come
being in a
to Texas.
DIY band.
yeah, that's the thing. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I think I don't want to say I would die first, but I'm getting the feeling that I may not make it. I get too scared when I'm like at a venue and someone across the street is like raising their voice at someone else. I'm like, I freeze. So I'm like, I don't think I would make it, but
Okay.
that's
I feel like
Yeah,
Tyler
alright.
would like outsmart their way out of it.
I could see that.
I would tell the villain how to do their job better.
You can't tell
So
this
you
how to-
join them.
So I was just watching this film. Windfall just came out. It's on Netflix. It's got that guy Jesse, who's in like every movie right now, and
Not a movie.
the guy who was in I Love You Man, and actor names are escaping me.
Fair
It's
enough.
okay.
But yeah, premise of the film is the guy was staying in a very thinly veiled metaphor for like Bezos's mansion while he was out, and a guy comes home early and he's like, well, I'm gonna need to rob you and like take your money. And he's like, they're like, how much money do you want? He's like, 50 grand. And they start laughing at him. They're like, you need more than that. And this, you're gonna need passports, you're gonna need this. And they're like, you're probably gonna want like 250 grand.
Yeah.
That would be me.
I could see
So
that.
our drummer Allie is the comedy relief character.
Okay. Okay.
So do they get killed off second? Is that right?
If we're going by I'm gonna go by the cabin in the woods rules, and usually they get killed off third.
Okay.
Yeah, like usually like they're almost the last one, and then that
Yeah.
really like breaks your heart because they have to get you through the entire movie with comedy relief, and that's
Yeah.
like the last like 15 minutes they just kind of kill them off.
And if they're
Yeah.
your drummer, they can do every single time they make a joke.
And she does.
Good.
Um, I think between the three of us, honestly, I'm the most like outwardly dickish, so it would make sense to kill me second because it'd be more gratifying for the audience.
Yeah.
No.
Allie would go first, and I feel like you've got some final girl energy.
Thank you. I think that's the thing. Or even like I keep referencing Cabin in the Woods about the whole like how they had like you gotta kill them in a certain order
Yeah.
because of like
Well,
how
you
the
have
movies
to.
go. Yeah.
Mhm.
But they ended up effing up the order. Anyways, I don't want to
Nobody wants to see like the douchebag character survive.
Yeah.
Exactly, because then you walk away hating the movie. Just
Yeah.
like why?
Yeah. I mean, my favorite final girl is Sydney from Scream. She's like
Oh,
the
yeah.
best.
Oh,
So,
Scream.
yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. So as I said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you guys like to plug?
Sorry, which one of you dies first in the movie? Do you both die?
Honestly, Shane, how
Both survive.
I'm not a movie guy or a horror movie guy. I'm definitely not a horror movie
neither.
guy.
I don't.
So, just kill me first because I don't want to be there.
I
would
mean,
probably,
honestly-
like there would probably be a killer, and I would just walk towards him. I'd be like, "Let's just get this over with now. I don't want to be here. I'm scared. Let's just get rid of me."
See, every time every like October, my family and I watch like plenty of horror movies, and every time my family's like, "Ooh, like what if we were in this situation?" My answer is always like, I just off myself like the second like any of this starts happening.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I wouldn't go by like the hands of like the killer. It would just be me like seeing like one hint of something happening and be like, oh,
I'm good.
I'm not doing
Yeah.
this.
Dead did
Yeah.
that, which like this is the closest I was going to get to something spooky because it was a comedy.
I love Shaun of the
But
Dead.
Shaun of the Dead, they
Oh, I
have
love Shaun of the Dead. Yeah.
zombies are closing in, and they saved one bullet for themselves. Like
Mhm.
that's a basic tenet of these things,
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
and a lot of films don't touch on that.
Mhm.
No.
That's an important life lesson. If you're listening, save one.
This
No.
life sucks. Keep
No.
one bullet at all times.
No. Oh my
On that
God.
note,
Is that my hot
take? Sure, that can be your hot take. That might get you canceled. I don't know.
That
get you
might be
canceled
worse than
harder
that
the
NFT
NFT.
tweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, on that
You
note,
go.
Guilt is canceled. Would you guys like to plug anything as your last words?
We have an EP coming out. Tyler is never talking again. And we're going to Europe and the UK.
Even if you don't like our band, that's fucked up. But
That is very fucked up.
even if we're canceled, listen to Unity TX.
Yes.
Listen to Kind Eyes.
Listen to Calloused Boys.
Listen to Calloused Boys. Listen to Dollskin.
Yes.
Listen to both Sound Altar and the Holy Ghost Tabernacle Choir. Every band we worked with on this are like good friends of ours, and we're going to Europe. But honestly, I got to make music with my friends. So
Oh.
Hell yeah, love that.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for now. This guy's been Guilt, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.